So, about a week ago, or so, I guess, it's literally the 1st of September, VGC Worlds happened, and there's a little bit of a split in the community, and I don't know, the percentages or what, because I didn't poll everyone, but some people thought it was good, some people thought it was bad, and what we're talking about is diversity. Diversity in the format, diversity in what people do, and that's something that I'd like to talk about, because there were a few different, opinions circulating, especially on Twitter, and especially on that day, about whether it's good or bad that pretty much every team was the exact same. So let's just go into the top 8 teams, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So let me just get the right one. There we go. I'm gonna put my little face cam right over here so you can see. Actually, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Never mind. Ignore that. So, person who won is Shoma Honami. I'm not even gonna attempt to admit that was right. And this is the team that he won with. Now, for those of you who are well known, or not well known, but well versed, that's the word, well versed in the current format, you will know that there has been a term that's been circulating, and that is chalk. And what chalk is Cresselia, Heatran, okay, Amoonguss, Landorus, Therian, and Kangaskhan, obviously, Mega. So what this team is, it's chalk with Thundurus. Now, alright, so that's the number 1 team. So if we scroll down, we'll see a little bit of his moves and stuff, but we'll get to that later. Second place, it's pretty much chalk, but it's actually fairly different than the first team. You've got Aegislash, you've got Volcarona, you've got Thundurus. I mean, 4 out of the 6 are the exact same as the number 1, but you still got something like Volcarona, which really, honestly, isn't that common in VGC. So there's at least some semblance of difference, but just focus right here on this Landorus, because you're gonna see what I'm referring to in a bit. So this person, as you can see, it's again pretty much the same team. You've got the same thing with Aegislash and Thundurus. You've got Landorus again for the 3rd time, Sylveon for the 1st time actually. So there's that. Then we're gonna scroll down to another player. Again, this is top 8, so it's in the, I guess, in order of top 8. I don't know if that's what the Pokemon Company actually put it in order or what, but I think it's safe to assume that it's in order. So again, we see another Landorus Therian, so that's what, the 4th Lando in a row. Another Kangaskhan, I think that's also the 4th Kangaskhan in a row. Let me hide these details so it's a little easier for us to scroll through. Yeah, that is the 4th Kangaskhan in a row. Another Amoonguss, another Aegislash, but we actually see a little bit of an Entei, and that's something that we haven't seen yet. So scrolling down again, still pretty much the same thing. We don't see Kangaskhan again, but again we see another Amoonguss, and this is the 5th Landorus. Alright, so I think you guys are understanding where I'm going, but we're almost at the end of this. So again, a little bit different. We've got a Tyranitar here, something that people haven't really been using so far, a Gardevoir, which is the 2nd time it's been used, but again, we've got a Landorus, a Heatran, a Thundurus, and a Amoonguss, pretty much the same thing. Again, I mean, a few different changes, obviously, with the Tyranitar. But then we scroll down a little bit further, and what do we get? Another Kangaskhan, another Landorus, another Cresselia, another Heatran, another Amoonguss, and our 2nd Tyranitar. Finally, finalist of the top 8, can't really scroll down much further than this. Again, pretty much the same team, but just Scrafty. And this is what we're talking about. This is what the diversity argument is. This format right now, we have, I don't know the exact number, but I'm gonna just shoot out a number. You can correct me in the comments below. But we have like 650 Pokemon to choose from. 650. Now, you take out, obviously, the pre-evolutions that you can't use. You take out the second evolutions that you can't use. You take out some like really bad Pokemon that you're obviously never ever gonna find a use for, like, you know, Delibird, and maybe you're left with, I don't know, 300, 400, somewhere around there. I'm just roughly guessing. I don't even know if there's a way to figure that out easily. But like, that's a sizable amount. But it comes down to the fact that a majority of these teams all are built relatively similar. I mean, like, yeah, you've got a Volcarona here, but that's more because this guy probably thought, alright, Landorus is really common. He trains 4 times weak to Landorus. And like, if we look at his team, we can kind of see his thought process there. You know, he's got Trick Room and Ice Moon, which in my mind doesn't really make much sense. But I mean, he does have some faster things here, so I guess it's one of those things. I guess it's just like to counter other Trick Rooms. That could make sense. But I'm not here to analyze their teams. But like, you know, so looking at his team, you know, he kind of, if he had a Heatran here, he'd actually be kind of weak to Landorus. So I guess in a sense he's like, well, you know, I think I should run a Volcarona here because it's neutral to Landorus, but it still gives me that fire type coverage. And on the plus side, it also gives me that little Giga Drain, which is actually kind of useful. So, you know, that's like, that's kind of taking a formula and changing it up slightly to fix your team. But is that really what we want to call diversity? I mean, you're taking a template, copying and pasting it, and then tweaking it. I honestly say that's a tiny bit, you know, because the meat of the chalk metagame is Cresselia, Kangaskhan, and Landorus. I mean, Heatran, you really just need a fire type in there for the Amoonguss, and if the Amoonguss is not there, you don't really need the fire type, because then, I mean, you've got the Landorus, and that can hurt you pretty well. So really, it's really the CLK that's the big threats in that template. So the minor changes to the Amoonguss and the Heatran isn't really something that diversifies the game. And first of all, I don't have a script, so I'm just kind of talking as I go, so this is probably just sounding like rambling, but in my opinion, I really think that this season had a lot of potential. We had the entire Pokédex to work with, outside of the cover legendaries and the event legendaries. But we had the entire Pokédex, and this is where it went. Now, I wish I realized I was going to do this video earlier, because there were a lot of tweets going around about how, you know, for some reason people were angry about this. There's no reason to be angry. I mean, it's annoying, but no reason to be angry or upset that this is what happened. But there's some counter tweets saying, like, you know, these people are here to win the competition. They need to go in with these teams. These are the top of the top Pokemon. And, I mean, they're used the most for a reason. They are the top of the top. But, I mean, let's just take a quick look into the chalk. Alright, so you've got Cresselia, you've got Landorus, you've got Heatran, you've got Amoonguss, and you've got Kangaskhan. Now, what of those 5, what do you notice? What do you notice that's something very common of those 5? Alright, hint, a water type can actually do pretty well against them. Now, granted, Amoonguss is grass type, and you're probably thinking, well, Ryan, he could just Giga Drain you. Well, Amoonguss isn't an offensive Pokemon. It can Giga Drain you all you want. It's really not going to be taking you down unless you don't know what you're doing. Plus, water types do get Ice Beam, so there's always that. And now, this is where I was thinking in this entire thing. If Chalk is such a popular type, template, combination, what have you, where's the Melodic? Why is no one running Melodic? Like, Melodic, I'm gonna switch over to this screen right now. Melodic, I don't know why that's up. Melodic's not even in the top 12. And look at this, just look at this top 12. Don't you realize that Melodic is actually really fantastic against this top 12? Where is Melodic? I don't get it. I don't get it. And this is why diversity is needed. People just stick to the template, They stick with what wins, but they're not looking at it from another perspective. Because, yeah, look at Landers. Look at Landers. I didn't even look at this. I'm hoping I'm right. I'm hoping I'm right. I can't even see. God, I can't even see. Why is this not zoomed in? This is kind of annoying. Yeah, that's really weird, actually. It's really weird. It's not zooming in for me. That's weird. Why is it doing that? Well, I can't even see if Melodic's used to defeat it, but, I mean, that's just one Pokemon that's really good at beating this. Obviously, you know, Melodic can't really touch Cresselia. That's true. It's not very, it's not weak to anything that Melodic has. It's nothing like that. But Melodic's really bulky. It can take an Aegislash's attacks. It can take Sylveon's attacks. You build it right, it can take a Solar Beam from Charizard Y. It can probably take a Thunderbolt from Thundurus. Actually, I kind of want to calc that out. I'm going to do that while I keep talking. So, like, I'm just curious, where was the Melodic? Where was the... Why is this so bad? Okay, there we go. Where, like, I don't know. It's like I said, I don't have a script for this, so it's kind of awkward for me to say. I just don't like scripts because, I don't know. It's just, I read it, it gets boring. You don't have weird interjections. But, I mean, it's just, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Oh, here we go. So even max special attack, it can take a Thunder. Let's give it a Life Orb. Let's give it a Life Orb. Let's give it a Life Orb. Yeah, Life Orb's 93% chance to one-hit KO, and let's be real here. Is Thundurus really running Life Orb? Probably not. Oh, it is. Okay. That's not what I thought. Okay, well, I'm proven wrong there. But, are they really running Thunder? Let's look if they're really running Thunder. Not really. It's nowhere in here. I mean, it's like 1.8%. Yeah, no. So, I mean, you slap an Assault Vest on this Melodic. You don't even need investment. Assault Vest. Oh, I went to ability. Nope, not adaptability. Not adaptability. We do not want that. No, yeah, we're going to give it an Assault Vest. And look at that. Look at that. Thunder does only 78%. Now, what's really cool about Melodic is it gets... Wait for this. Mirror Coat. So if you're in a game where you're trying to beat Chalk T, you know, Chalk plus Thundurus, why aren't you running a Melodic with an Assault Vest? Now, yeah, you can't beat a Kangaskhan. But honey, you don't have to carry the entire team on your shoulders. You've got 3 other Pokemon behind you for that Kangaskhan. Run it next to a Ferrothorn, get rid of the Heatran, and you're golden. But where are these Pokemon? Why aren't people using it? Why are people resorting to things like Hidden Power Landorus for this? And that's not even a joke. I know that sounds like a good idea. It's a 3.2% usage. I just want to talk to you guys about that for a second. Why are people running Hidden Power Ice Landorus when they can run Melodic? I don't get it. And the only reason that it's just so confusing to me is because I come from a spot where I like to use whatever I can, wherever I can, however I can, no matter what it is. The way I'm seeing this format develop is into a way where people play solely what's at the top because that's what they think is going to win. And it does win. But it doesn't win because it's what it is. It wins because the players know what they're doing. And I stand firmly behind that. I mean, just look at this team. A Melodic Ferrothorn could do so much to this, and then you still have 2 more spots in the back, 4 more spots rather, in the back to deal with that. I don't understand why people aren't using those Pokemon. Now, obviously, if they start using those will build up to become the top as well, and then those will be incorporated into the teams. Where does it end? How do we... Is diversity really that important to this game where we need that? And at tournaments, no. I don't think so. I think at tournaments, people really are playing for money. They're playing for ego, I guess, sometimes. So, I guess in that kind of sense, it's not really needed. it still confuses me that they use all these teams without really... I don't see how these teams work. You know, maybe I'm just not thinking clearly. Maybe you guys have an answer for me. I just don't see how Ice Beam on Cresselia is your best answer for Landorus. I really don't. I mean, a Choice Banded U-turn probably hurts pretty hard. Let's just check that out. Let's look at the standard Cresselia. Let me switch to this one. Standard Cresselia against a Landorus. And I know, Choice Band isn't really that common because it is a pretty slow Pokemon, but we'll give it Jolly just for the hell of it. I mean, like, yeah, I guess Cresselia does do really well against Landorus. You know, Choice Banded is only a 10% chance to 2-hit KO. But, I don't know, guys. It's very disheartening to see everyone running the same team. I think, you know, on Battle Spot, it's less excusable because what are you really earning from Battle Spot? You're not earning money. I guess there's an ego boost there, but it's not really. I mean, yeah, you're at the top of the ladder. Good for you. Now what? Now what now? You know, the ladder, the Battle Spot metagame is so different than tournaments because some people just like to screw around on Battle Spot, you know, and even Showdown's less similar. So I don't know. It's just, for me, I like seeing diversity. I like seeing different things because it's really refreshing. You know, I came into the 2015 meta really excited because we had so many options. I wasn't stuck with just using like Aromatisse and other Trick Room Setter all the time. I had options, and obviously I stuck to my guns with, you know, like Dusclops and Porygon 2 with Aromatisse, but you guys understand what I'm saying, you know, like, it just added so many new things, and no one really branched out to try that. Like, yeah, we get Volcarona, but Volcarona is just a reskinned Heatran with slightly different options, you know? Honestly, I'm surprised Volcarona isn't used nearly as much because Flame Body means it's pretty good against Kangaskhan. It's pretty good against Amoonguss. It's pretty good against Landorus in general. I mean, not great because it does get Rock Slide, but overall, I think it's a pretty solid choice. I'm surprised people don't use it as much. And again, I'm really surprised people don't use Melodic. That's what threw me off. Now, obviously, this is only the top 8. It's very possible that there were other teams. Nugget Bridge has not released a team list yet. So I don't know. I wasn't exactly watching. I was at my own event that week, and so I don't know exactly. But still, out of the top 8 teams, no one decided to bring Melodic. That's crazy. Wolfie Glick did so well with his Melodic in at Nationals. I was just surprised it didn't catch on. It's pretty solid. It can take Thundurus' attacks pretty easily. Weakness policy would be pretty solid in this format too. But yeah, I don't get it, and I think a lot of people just rely on what does well instead of trying to find something new that does well. Because there's definitely a lot of options out there, and they're not really being taken advantage of. So with that, we're hitting around 20 minutes right now. I do appreciate you guys sticking around if you did. Leave your thoughts down below. I really want to know what you guys think. I'm sort of on the fence because obviously this is the World Championships and you want to win, but do you really need Landorus to win? Is that something that is 100% guaranteed? There are so many other ground types that are just as good. May not get the immunity to ground type. May not get the immunity to ground types. It may not get that Intimidate, but there are other options too. You know, you don't have to use Landorus. So with that, guys, I appreciate it. I really do hope to see you guys at the next episode, and peace.